Good evening, everyone. I, Zaira Madina Zaid, welcome you all for the webinar on Importance of Indian Literature. In today's webinar, we will highlight the importance of Indian literature and its various features. Also, we will discuss about the growth and development of Indian literature. At the end of the webinar, we will be providing a small quiz, and later participation certificate will be emailed to all the participants. But before that, let me just give a brief introduction about our company. This webinar is organized by Alma Mater Sparks, and Alma Mater is a premier solution provider on human capital optimization. And if you see, our forte lies in various things like we are into financial KPO portfolios, we are into training, we are into staffing and recruitment solutions. So the company Alma Mater was established in the year 2004. And after that, till date, we have trained over 500,000 individuals. Training so many people, we understood it's a really good number, but we would definitely like it to grow. And that's the reason we are all set for a global multi-industry service provider. We are set apart by delivering high quality core processes, conscious leadership, creative solutions, and we have a very unique culture. Now, if you understand this, incredible success has inspired us to create a strong support system for individuals which would help them to create their own future. Now, for that one, we have launched Sparks. Sparks is a support program aimed at raising knowledge and skill. The motive of Sparks is to give individuals exposure to the various skills that will help them identify their own specialization and make their future filled with health, wealth, and happiness. Now, apart from this, we have assessment, career coaching and mentoring, skill development workshop, training and development, placement assistance, and online counseling. So all this plays a very important role as we understand in every part of a student's future. So anytime anybody wants to understand or they are stuck with their own career, we have a solution for that. Now, if you see, what we do is, apart from all this career assessment, we also have different programs to help people. We understand people have their own challenges, they understand differently, they learn differently. We specialize in a few programs like we have 4-dimension workshop, which actually corresponds to understand what kind of intelligence you as an individual have. As you can see on the screen, all these have different kinds of intelligence. Everyone learns in a different way. And to support all this, we actually have different programs. And if you want to keep it very simple and don't want to attend any programs, but want to still understand about yourself, we have psychometric tests. All you have to do is sit in a quiet place where no one can disturb you and attend the test. There will be questions, and again, these questions will have different kinds of options that you have to select according to your understanding. And once you complete the test, it will tell you exactly what kind of a learner you are. To know more about all these details, you can go and visit our website and also our social handles. If you want to know the details of our social handles, we have already posted in the chat box. You can go to the chat box and connect to our pages. So this is just a background of what we have. We will be continuing with all the efforts that we are carrying out. But one of the efforts we are carrying out right now is that every week we are trying to get some new topic and train students through the webinar. And coming to today's webinar, As you know, it is on the importance of Indian literature, and it will be presented by Shweta Singh, who will be the instructor for today. So Shweta ma'am is a teacher of English literature from past 2 years. Right now, she is pursuing her PhD in English literature. She is also very keen in English language and linguistics, along with literature. Her aim is to build a better foundation for students to learn in a better environment. She believes in understanding a student's capabilities and help them solve their problems in the most appropriate manner. It is such an honor for us to have you with us today, ma'am. And as we know, she is very flexible and efficient. Now over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Zaira ma'am, for such an honorly introduction. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Alma Mater. Today, I will be discussing the importance of Indian literature, and especially we will talk about the basics or the foundation of it. So I'll not waste much of your time and let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I hope it is visible to everyone.
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the very first thing that we are going to talk about is what is literature. So when I talk about literature, everyone has different perceptions for it. Everybody talks about literature for it to be novels, for it to be dramas, or it can be short stories and other definitions. But actually, literature is the mirror of the society. Whichever era you take off, whichever era you want to talk about, if you want to know the background of that era, you simply need to go through the literature of that era. So if you see, when at present we are talking about Indian literature, so if you see the works of very, very renowned writer, which is Munshi Premchand, so when you see his writings, you see that he has written about a lot of topics which are not much discussed at present. So he has written about the caste discrimination. He has written about the very unethical practices that used to take place at that time. So all these things are a mirror of the society which was at that time. So if you want to know the background of a particular era, just go through the literature of that era and yes, there it is. There is everything that you need to know about that era. So now let's come to our topic, the importance of Indian literature. So Indian literature is very important, but why? So being an Indian, it is very important to know our roots, from where we come from where we are going to. So all the whole journey, but where did this journey begin? As a student and admirer of literature, I am very much interested in Indian literature especially, and I really want to make other students also feel the same way, or maybe more than me. So let's talk about the history of Indian literature. So as we know that India is a country of diversity. So it is not only diverse in cultures, it is also diverse in languages. Okay. So we have a number of and a variety of languages like Bengali, Bihari, Gujarati, also Hindi, especially Punjabi, Rajasthani, etc. But all these languages emerged from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages, as we know it. So even English has evolved from Sanskrit. A number of words which we know in English at present have evolved from Sanskrit. The very crucial word, which is mother, also comes from Sanskrit, which is the word matru in Sanskrit. Okay. So it is very important to know the language that we are speaking, where it has evolved from. Now, coming to the evolvement of Indian literature. So Indian literature actually bloomed up after our independence, that is after 1947. Before 1947, there was a lot of restrictions of what has to be written, what has to be presented in front of the society. All these were restricted and all these were governed by the English government before independence. So the true colors and the actual reality which was to be presented by the Indian writers was not in a very good manner, which was inbuilt in them. So after independence, the writers were free to write whatever they wanted to, and they actually brought out the reality of the society in front of the whole country. So actually the real world of literature started beginning from 1947. Now the earliest Indian literature that we actually know is the Vedas, the holy and the very precious Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, which is well known to everyone. So the real beginning of the Indian literature in a written manner can be dated back to 1500 BCE, and it kept evolving to 1000 CE. And we cannot only date these two dates, and we cannot say that Indian literature has only taken its roots from between these two ages. It has evolved even before that. Even before that, we have our literature, but not in a written manner. It may be in folk tales, it may be in the artistic manner, but we have our literature before that too. But to conceptualize it, we talk about these dates in which we can just brief them up, like we have Indian literature beginning in textual manner in this era. So the Vedas, all the sacred writings which involved Ramayana, Mahabharata, these all were the basis of our written Indian literature. Now, all these were completely based on philosophical writings, which included devotional lyrics, the court poetry, the plays, the narrative folk tales, etc. Now, when I talk about narrative folk tales, the very easiest example which is known by everyone is all the stories of Sri Krishna in the Gita and also in the Mahabharata, through which he tells about his lifetime, his lifestyle, and all the important events that took in his life. So also, now the court poetry. What is court poetry? So court poetry is nothing but the poetry that was written in the king's courts. Now, when I talk about kings, it is not the kings that we used to have during independence or the Rajput kings or the Mughal kings. It is not that. It is the godly kings like the Indra. Okay, he also had his ministers who used to write him poetry. Now, as we talk about Sanskrit, who is the mother of all the languages, it was basically owned by the Brahminical religion. That is, only the Brahmins used to use the language of Sanskrit, and it was prohibited for any other caste to use it. So the Buddhism and the Jainism adopted their a completely different literary language, which was Pali and Ardha Magadhi. So these two languages was adopted by Buddhism and Jainism respectively. Then as the time went on, the language or related languages of all the different cultures emerged, and the modern language started evolving in India. Now, as we know that in Indian tradition, it is very important for every tradition to speak their own language. Like it is always expected for a Punjabi to speak in Punjabi language, for a Gujarati person to speak in Gujarati, for a person belonging to Bihar should speak in Bihari. So this is quite an unacceptable thing for others to not know their own root language. So Sanskrit has evolved in the same manner, which is completely a philosophical language, although it is not very prominent at present. But again, because of its philosophical and very literary background, it is now being accepted again. It is now being learned again by other scholars. Now, as we have learned about Sanskrit being the mother of all languages, there is an exception. The language Tamil. Tamil is an exception because of its own classical tradition. Now, there is always a contradiction that whether Sanskrit is an older language or Tamil is more ancient to it. There is always a contradiction between these two. As some written texts say that Sanskrit is a very profound and old language used in the Vedas, while some texts say that Tamil is more ancient to Sanskrit and Sanskrit evolved through Tamil. Now, leaving this contradiction behind, because this is till date unknown, which is proven to be right. Now, in the similar manner, if there are two other languages and more related to them, which are foreign languages that came to India with the intruders. So like Urdu. Urdu is not an Indian language. It came to India with the Mughals, with the Afghanis, and it took place, a beautiful place in India, but it is not an Indian language. Now, with the involvement of other languages like foreign languages, also came the British control on the subcontinent, with which came the control of India as an English state. Not in a manner that it is a British state now, as an English state, because English became very prominent to be spoken as it is a universal language. But it nevertheless, it does not lessens the importance of Indian languages and literature. As the time passed, there is a lot of involvement of Western culture in Indian literature. Like we talk about a number of topics which have came to a highlight by Indian writers, which was not done before. Like if I talk about, there is a novel by Kamala Das, which is My Story. It is an autobiography in which she has very boldly written about all her love attractions to men and also women. She has written everything that used to go within her house, maybe it be caste discrimination, be it be all the unnecessary and unethical rituals that were followed in her house. And it was at that time when she published her autobiography, at that time it was not accepted, because it is not something that in India people accept a woman to do. But this is what we are talking about, that this is a Western culture that she followed. Although at present it is very much accepted and it is very much allowed for women to talk about it, and even at places it is considered as a taboo. But leaving all these taboo behind, we cannot say that India haven't ever talked about the erotic topics that are considered to be taboo. We have the temples of Khajuraho. All the scenes that have been depicted there have been done in a very earlier stage. So if we talk about being taboo, which is just a thing of the society, we cannot say that it is the part of the Indian literature. it is not so, because all the things that the Westerns talk about now have already been described by the Indians earlier. So moving ahead, all such forms of the novel like short story, the drama and everything were later on adopted by the Indian writers. And all these gave rise to the questions and the psychological description, which were very prominent in the biography, in the autobiography, and also in a manner that when we see that a person has written and depicted another person, but actually is talking about himself or herself. So all these psychological description were very prominent to Indian writers, and till date they are. So if I just put it in a nutshell, Indian literature is very important for all the rising literature students, or I should say all the rising generation, to know what they stand, where they stand, and what is their background coming from. So I hope this introduction, this little introduction was helpful to you. And I will now hand over this to Zaira ma'am. And thank you so much for everyone being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. It was really a great session to enhance our knowledge about English literature. We hope our participants liked it too. Now, let's have a small recap of our webinar, but in a very different way. We will be sharing the quiz link in the chat box right now, and we expect everyone to go through the link and submit their answers through the mail. As soon as we receive your answers, we will get ahead and send you back your certificates on the same email ID. An organizational structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization. Actually, what we are here trying to portray is a structure which is needed to understand everything. As we all know, if we make a structure for a certain task, it makes our life easier, increase the productivity, and saves our time. Like for example, there are times when we are finding certain things and are not able to find them, and we call out our mom, and our mom comes saying it is definitely going to be on that place, right? It happens with everyone. This happens because when we keep a thing in a place, we assume that it's the right place for a thing. But according to our mom's perspective, we have kept it at a wrong place. And most of the time we are wrong, right? Obviously, moms can't be wrong. But the thing we do wrong is we don't see the place of the object beside them. And what our mothers do is that they have stated a place for everything and hence define things easily. Now, to make you understand easily, we have a small activity. So get ready and embrace yourself for the small activity. What are we going to do? In the next screen, you will see a number, a series of numbers from number 1 and 100, which will be denoted at a point. And you are going to touch yourself on the sequence. Okay, so what is that? We are going to trust you as students. We will be displaying a lot of numbers on the screen. Okay, and with your conscience, what you have to do is you have to point out number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, and after 30 seconds, we will ask you where was the number. And I hope at least some people can guess right where was the number. After that, to make it clear to everyone, we will display the answer. All right, everyone ready?
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it has to be like you have to go through in sequence. Like you have to go. Two can come only after one. It cannot come before, because in school we studied, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It
Yes.
cannot be 1, 2, 4. You know?
Yes,
So
right.
let's hope like everybody just touches the screen
Yes,
in
sir.
sequence from 1 onwards and till 100, whatever is the number. Even if you reach 10, that's fine. But like you need to go in sequence. And let's see how much points you get for yourself at the end of 30 seconds. Yeah, let's start this.
Okay. Everybody ready? Go. Count yourself in the right order. Okay, so the time is over now. We hope you all must have seen the numbers. Anyone who wants to go ahead and tell us beforehand where was the numbers? Anyone? All right, then we will go ahead. And now, as you all can see on the screen, the numbers was rightly structured. There was no confusion, but due to a lot of numbers on the same screen, your mind gets confused, right? So the point what we are trying to explain here is whenever we try to structure things, it is for our well-being, okay? Like you can see from the top left corner, we have number 1, okay? Then in the middle, we have number 2. And in the right top, we have number 3. Anyone who have any confusion can ask?
Yeah, Zara, let's go to the previous slide.
Okay, so once more.
Yeah, let's go to, yeah, let this. So the idea is, now if you see, there are, right, we have just put on 4 lines, right? Like you play tic-tac-toe on regular basis. It's just lines, and like what we have done is like we have placed at the same numbers in sequence. So if you see, right, you were able to, like some of you were able to reach 10, 12, 15, depending on when we are trying to search the numbers. Now here, what it is it's like if we display the same numbers in a structured format, like we just add this lines to the same number screen. And if you have to now find the numbers with the same 30-second time frame, right? Like one being on the top left corner, and then you go in sequence from top left to right, you know? So it's like one will be, if you have to find one, it will be in the box on the top left corner. If you have to find 2, it will be in the second box. If you want to find 3, you have to go to the third box. Same way, middle left will be 4, center will be 5. You'll have 6 on the right, middle right. Bottom left will be 7. 8 will be on the right, bottom middle, and bottom right will be 9. And then like you come back to the 10. So you will go on the top. So you go in sequence, and when you touch the screen, now if you have to find the numbers, right, how many times you will find. Let's see that. Now we will display the other screen, and all you have to do is try touching the numbers again. Same 30 seconds. The time starts now. So now if we stop, can anybody tell me like if they were able to reach, what numbers they were able to reach during the first screen and what numbers they were able to reach during this screen? Anybody? Nobody touched the screen? That's great, Rohit. So if you see initially, like Rohit says, that he was able to reach only 5 in the first time. But then the second time when he was actually going in a very structured format, he was able to reach 20. So that is 4 times your, when things are structured, you are able to, like if I was able to score only 25 in my exams with an unstructured learning, if I go with structured learning, I probably will go and achieve 100%. That's a possibility also because it is structured. That's the whole idea. Anytime you want to have any learnings that you need to do, all you have to do is simply structure your studies into small bits, focus on those bits, and then you will see that you are able to achieve a lot. The same thing with Indian literature. Now if you see, it's such a vast topic. What happens is, like, by the time you start looking into the different things, you get overwhelmed and you're not able to really understand what's happening around. So the best way even to learn Indian literature or any topic for that matter, all you have to do is just structure it bit by bit, go through that, and then at the end you will see you will have much more deeper knowledge and understanding of the subject than you have when you go without a structure. So thank you for all this. Now we are going to open this for question answer session. For anybody, if you have any questions, what happened during the day for this session, please do ask us the questions and we will address it right away. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now let's move on. As some of you already know, we have been having our webinars. We at AmSpark, we have started a series of webinars, and this was our 4th webinar of the series. We also have 3 webinars waiting in the series too. And to know about all those webinars, kindly connect to our pages so that you can get the right update of the right time of the right webinar. You have all the details on the comment section. Also, we have shared the quiz link on the comment section. Kindly go through the link and submit your answers. Please check your comment box. We have shared your link. Kindly go through the link and submit your answers, as through the link only we will be able to send you back your certificates. All right. Okay, so anyone who wants to ask any question with our teacher, or any question regarding our webinars, you can ask us right now. You have your time. Anyone has any confusion? You can raise your hand and we will unmute you. So we will have our webinar in the next week, and to know the right date, you have to connect with our pages, as we will update there the right day and the right timing. All right. So on the screen, you have all the details. You can screenshot or you can take it from the comment box. Other than that, we also have our mobile app for your convenience. Just download the app and go through it. And if you want any other courses, any other webinars, you can just let us know. We can arrange a webinar for you and your friends. Kindly download the app for more updates, to know more about the webinars, to know more about the classes. Also, we are running a special discount on our career guidance program. You can register and choose your best career, as we have talked earlier about it. And our tutor for the day, that is Shweta ma'am, she also has our classes, our courses. To connect with her, to learn more about English literature, you can download our app or go to our website and schedule a class with her. We let you choose your own teacher and your mode of study, like online batch or one-to-one, depending on your choice. So we assume no one has any questions. Okay. Okay. Then last time, I'm repeating again, the quiz link is in the comment box. Kindly go through the link and submit your answers to receive your certificate. Please copy the link from the comment box, as we will be giving you the certificates on the basis of the quiz link. The quiz is totally depending about the webinar. It has questions that we have already discussed in today's webinar. Okay, so let's move forward. I would like to thank you, each one of you, once again for joining our webinar. All the best to all the participants for the future endeavors. We look forward to assist you in the near future. Thank you.